Hello everyone. Our lesson today talking about properties of rhombus, rectangles and squares. The special parallelograms. Rhombus is a parallelogram with four congruent sides. A rectangle is a parallelogram with four right angles. The square is a parallelogram with four congruent sides and four right angles. Let's solve this question. Is the parallelogram ABCD rhombus, rectangle or square? Since here we have angle B, right angle, and this is the parallelogram, then each two opposite angles are congruent. Then we have four right angles. Then this parallelogram is rectangle. The second question. Is a parallelogram EFGH rhombus, rectangle or square? Since here in the given we have two congruent sides and this is the parallelogram, then each two opposite sides are congruent. Then we have four congruent sides in the parallelogram EFGH. Then this parallelogram is rhombus. Rhombus properties. If a parallelogram is a rhombus, then its diagonals are perpendicular. And if a parallelogram is a rhombus, then each diagonal bisects a pair of opposite angles. Like this question, for example. Here this is rhombus. What are the measures of the numbered angles in a rhombus ABCD? Since this is rhombus, ABCD is a rhombus, then the two diagonals, the diagonal AC and BD, both of them are perpendicular, making right angles. And the two diagonals bisect the opposite angles. That means angle 3 and angle 2, they are congruent. Then here, according to these properties, then measure of angle 1 is also right angle, is 90 degree. And measure of angle 2, this angle, by looking at this angle making letter Z with angle 58. Then measure of angle 2 and angle 58 alternate angles. Then measure of angle 2 equal 58. Since this is the rhombus and the diagonal bisect the opposite angle, each two opposite angle, then this opposite angle, angle D, bisected. That means they divided into two equal angles. Then measure of angle 3 equal measure of angle 2 equal 58. To find the measure of angle 4 from the triangle that given angles 1 and 3, and we said measure of angle 1 90 and measure of angle 3 58, then we can find the measure of angle 4 by subtracting the given angles from 180 to get that measure of angle 4 equal 32. What are the measures of the numbered angles in the rhombus PQRS? Here we have diagonal PR, and we know that PR, this bisect the angles, the opposite angles, bisect the angle P and bisect the angle R. That means measure of angle 1 equal measure of angle 2 equal measure of angle 3 equal measure of angle 4. Because this is a parallelogram and each two opposite angles are congruent. That means the measure of angle P equal measure of angle R. And the diagonal PR bisect the opposite angles. Then measure of angle 1 equal measure of angle 2 equal measure of angle 3 equal measure of angle 4. We can find the measure of angle 1 and angle 3 from this triangle PQR. Here this given angle Q 104, then we can find the measure of angle 1 and 3 by subtracting 104 from 180. Then the sum of measures angle 1 and 3, they have 76, and the measure of angle 1 after dividing 76 by 2, because we said these two angles are congruent, then measure of angle 1 equal 38. The same as measure of angle 1, measure of angle 2, measure of angle 3, and measure of angle 4. Because we said the four angles, they are congruent because this diagonal bisect the opposite angles, and the opposite angles, angle P congruent to angle R, angle S congruent to angle Q, each two opposite angles are congruent. The rectangle properties. If a parallelogram is a rectangle, then the two diagonals are congruent. That means AC equals the diagonal BD if this is a rectangle. Let's solve this question. If SF, this diagonal, equal 2x plus 15, and the other diagonal PR equal 5x minus 12, what is the length of a diagonal of a rectangle RSFB? Since this is rectangle, then the two diagonals are congruent. Then the diagonal RB equals the diagonal SF. Then let's make substitution using the given expression 2x plus 15 and 5x minus 12. They are equal. Then by solving this equation, we will get that 5x minus 2x equal 15 plus 12. Then 3x equal 27, then x equal 9. By making a substitution in any equation of those, let's make substitution in the first one, SF equal 2. Instead of x, we will put 9, then 2 multiply 9 plus 15, 18 plus 15 equal 33. Then RB equal SF equal 33. Next question. If ln equal 4x minus 17, MO equal 2x plus 13, what are the lengths of the diagonals of a rectangle LMNO? We said that the two diagonals are congruent. Then ln equal MO, then 4x minus 17 equal 2x plus 13. By solving this equation, then 4x minus 2x equal 13 plus 17, then 2x equal 30, then x equal 15. Let's make substitution in any one of them, ln or mo. Let's use this mo, for example. Then mo equal 2x plus 13, then 2 by 15 plus 13 equal 43. Then mo equal ln equal 43. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.